Hi guys, and we're back. Day 28, Body, Mind, Spirit Challenge. My name is Jim Standish, and I'm one of your co-hosts. Welcome back. So, last few days we've been talking about meditation and specifically some tools, tips, and techniques to help enhance your meditation experience. I invite you to practice them. I think anybody that's involved with music who learned to study an instrument, anybody that's involved with sports that learned how to manipulate a ball of some kind knows that it takes an awful lot of practice sometimes to master these things, right? To become really, really good at something, you have to practice. And a meditation practice is no different than that you have to really put some effort into it to get the results that we would like to see. And the word practice, a meditation practice, means that you do it daily. And again, I'm going to stress that 40-day thing, that if you can make it through the 40 days, I will tell you from my own personal experience, it took me many times, many attempts to make it through the first 40 days. And if you do miss one day, I want you to start all over again in day one. So I think the first time I made it through like 5 days and I missed a day, and then the next time it was in the teens, and then I missed a day, and then the next time it was in the 20s, and I think I was up to 30 something and I missed a day, and I was so pissed at myself for missing that day. And it's an ancient tradition. There's something about the 40 days, and I promise you that if you stick with it, you will start to see those results through the practice and doing it daily. So today we're going to start to get into the I Ching systems instruments and what they can do to help promote a really enhanced life experience. And first, as a primer, we're going to talk about the field, your auric field, or the field that surrounds our body. And we're going to talk about thoughts, subatomic particles, and how thoughts are things. Now, in the PDF, I have a few PDFs today that you can pull out, and one of them I just pulled up. I went to Wikipedia and pulled up some definitions. And in the aura, I thought this was a really profound and pointed sentence that really fits today. And it says from Wikipedia that the aura has also been described as a map of the thoughts and feelings surrounding a person. The aura has also been described as a map of the thoughts and feelings surrounding a person. So first, we're going to just kind of explore subatomic particles. Now, in the early 1900s, we really started to understand through imaging the structure of an atom, an atomic structure. And subatomic particles are particles that are within an atom that are smaller than an atom itself. So again, one of the handouts, we talk about subatomic particles, the definition of subatomic particles, and I just want you to understand the science behind it. In the Hadron Collider in CERN, Switzerland, I think it borders between France and Switzerland, they built this gigantic, what's called the Hadron Collider, and they smash atoms in this collider to break them up to understand the different particles within an atom. Now, I think when we first started to discover an atom and we're able to do imaging of it, scientists are saying, the atom is the smallest particle known to man. And then we started to understand that there were components to an atom. That there was a nucleus and protons and electrons, and the proton is the smallest particle known to man. And as we kept diving deeper and deeper and deeper, we kept finding more and more particles within an atom. And I think we are up to 20 now, 20 identified particles within an atom. Now, if you look at the structure of an atom in the handout, I have a little illustration of an atom, and you'll notice that an atom is basically space. I mean, yes, there are all these little particles, and these particles are zooming around, but It's like a little universe within a universe. And I think perhaps that goes to the old biblical statement that as above, so below, that as we dive deeper and deeper and deeper into the smallest particles, we keep finding more particles. And I don't know if it's infinite. Does it just keep going? And the same thing going the other way as we start to understand our solar system and our galaxy, and that there are other galaxies and universes, and there might be multiple universes. I mean, is it infinite going the other way? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. What I want you to understand is that thoughts are things. Literally, that thoughts are things, and they have an actual subatomic structure. So that when you have a thought and you send it out into the universe, it has an actual structure in the subatomic world. So, in your notebook, and again, in the PDF, there's a much better handout of this, but we're going to draw this very simply, just so that we can understand that. And you're going to love this drawing. It's really super high tech. That is awesome, right? I want you to draw that. Draw a little stick figure. The little stick figure is you. And this is your field, or your aura. Now, we did talk about how everything vibrates. Everything vibrates and emits energy. We talked about when we were doing the I Ching, and I taught you how to cast coins, that the coins themselves hold and emit energy, and the more that you work with those coins, the more specific they become to you, because they are absorbing your energy and emitting your energy. So with some of these tools that we've been working with, even the mala, when you practice meditating and you're doing your rounds of 108, and later on, perhaps we'll have the opportunity to do some more advanced courses. I realize I'm kind of skimming the surface with a lot of topics, but as you're working with the mala and you are meditating, perhaps on a specific outcome, specific purpose, you are putting that energy into the mala beads, and it becomes your energy. And a lot of times I wear my mala just as a, I understand that today it's really cool and hip to wear prayer beads. Everybody wears them now. It's a cool thing. However, it's ancient. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. And the mala, again, will absorb your energy. And then when you wear it, it's just kind of a reinforcement. It just kind of reminds you of the things that you're meditating on and contemplating on and trying to manifest in your life. Not trying, but manifesting in your life. So back to this silly little drawing. So we have a drawing of a stick figure in a field. And again, science can absolutely validate that there is this energetic field. Again, in the handout, we talk a little bit about Kirlian photography and the ability to actually photograph this field. So in this field, I want you to start to draw all these little things. And I'm drawing a bunch of little things in my field. See all those little things? All those little things are thoughts. And remember, even in Wikipedia, it has been described as a map of the thoughts and feelings surrounding a person. Here's the map. Here's your thoughts and feelings. Now that's just in your field. There is also the quantum field, the field that is beyond us. That's not specific to us individually, but is specific to the collective. And there are also all these little things. I'm going to draw a bunch of little things out here in the collective field. Now, depending on where you live, the collective field can be quite geographically specific. And it relates to the thought patterns that people have in a specific geographical area, and how those thoughts react with your field and the thoughts that you are having. Now there's law of attraction. Law of attraction says that like attracts like. So if you have a bunch of little things in your field that you've been working on and creating some things in your field, those little things are going to attract like things from the quantum field. And this is exactly how manifestation works, is that you concentrate on something, developing thought particles, subatomic particles within your field. Those subatomic particles attract other subatomic particles, like attracts like, boom, manifestation. And we talked about the Sri Yantra and how the Sri Yantra can be used as a tool for manifestation, that when you focus your energy and direct your energy into that symbol, it really kind of amplifies the signal out into the universe. So back to this concept that thoughts are things. Now we're going to do a little bit of review here, and there were a couple of seeds that I planted in earlier videos. And one of the ones that we talked about is the thought of a wanted child versus an unwanted child that develops adaptive behavior versus natural behavior. And what I want to just touch on a little bit is that we are affected by other people's thoughts and intentions. So when you are, even when you're still in the womb, you are receiving signals from other people. You're receiving signals from your parents. You're receiving signals from people that come up and, hold mom's belly. I mean, there's all these things that we are actually starting. It starts at a very, very, very early age. It starts at conception, that we start to accumulate these things in our field. I was going to flip open that page, but we don't have to. Okay. So as young people, as we start to develop, we are influenced by thoughts and feelings of other people, and those influences help craft our belief system. And our belief system is largely what we've been taught, right? I mean, what people teach you is what you believe, and it's this whole process of a belief system. And I think that if you do a little bit of research, I think you will understand that a lot of the things that we've been taught may or may not be absolutely 100% correct. There may be reasons for that. We're not even going to get into that. All I want you to do is to be subjective. And what we're going to start to do is develop what is known as the witness. Now, as you raise your vibration, you will start to get a different perspective on things. And the easiest way to explain that is, let's say you're in a cruise ship, and you have a room that is below the water line. so you're looking out this little tiny porthole, and every once in a while, maybe you see a fish swim by, and you see another fish swim by, and somebody sends you some resources, and you're able to upgrade your room. So you upgrade your room, and you get up to the next level, and now at the next level, you're looking out over the horizon. So now you're not looking at a fish every once in a while. Every once in a while, you're looking at a bird come by. And then you take a trip, and you go onto one of the upper decks, and now you can see all the way around the horizon. Now you go up, up to the very, very top, and now you can look down and actually see the ship. And it's perspective, and it's how your perspective changes as your vibration grows. You actually raise like a hot air balloon. Right? There's another analogy that you're sitting in a traffic jam, and this is how this stuff relates to your thought processes. So you're sitting in a traffic jam. You're all pissed off, you're working up all this energy, and all of a sudden you have the opportunity to raise yourself above the traffic jam. And now you can see, oh heck, there's an accident down the street. That's why I'm in this traffic jam. I'm glad I'm just sitting in my little car here, because those people down there in the accident are really having a much harder time than I am. And then as you raise your vibration, you start to get different perspective. So through this process, what we're going to do is develop what is known as the witness. And the witness is that higher consciousness of you, that part of you that you can step back from and look at your own situations, behaviors from a totally different point of view. So for today, I want you to pull out those PDFs, understand that thoughts are things, They are subatomic particles, that they have an actual three-dimensional form, and that we begin to accumulate these particles in our field, and that sometimes those particles can run or influence our behavior. So pull out the PDFs, start to understand this concept, and we're going to dive into the I Ching systems instruments and how this all ties in. And I will see you tomorrow on day 29. Thanks for joining me.